everybody. Welcome to 60-minute access of Bayonetta on the Nintendo Switch.
Bronson kept calling it Bayo in our private messages, and it made me think of mayonnaise.
Okay, sure. So this will be the third time we're doing 60-minute access of this game.
But certainly not the last.
Probably not.
Nintendo really likes Bayonetta, which is fucking so bizarre, considering like how not Nintendo this game is. Yeah.
Oh, I
remember. Is the boot mic close enough? Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah, it's good. So this is the...
We're gonna make it through this entire thing without talking about sex. Fuck.
So, people... There are people who want to know which version of Bayonetta they should pick up. I've been asked this, and this is basically the way it breaks down. PC version is obviously the most competent, looks best, runs the most stable.
I think it boils down to what you have.
Well,
you got a Switch, get the one on the Switch.
Well, yes, but there are people who have all of them and just want to play the best running version. Then
probably the PC one then, right?
Yeah, then it goes Xbox One X, Switch, regular Xbox One, Xbox 360, and then
this shit.
Wii U, and then not playing it, then the PS3 version.
So the PS3 version's like dead last.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it was one of those like early day PS3 games that got ported not by Platinum, and like
right.
It has all these horrible fucking problems with it.
I like this version because you can get both for like the price of one.
Yep.
You literally
that is the digital version has that too, which is what we're playing.
And that's another great thing about the Switch. Like you don't need you don't need a fucking anything to play it. Like, I don't know, the Switch is just great. You can just bring Bayonetta with you.
Yeah, for sure.
This is going to be 60-minute access of the Switch. Just kidding. I don't think that's a thing.
I mean, we could
go through the Switch. Well, but it's already a thing. Next time there's like a new cool console like that, just go through the features on that.
You know, we wanted to, but
if you're brand new to the series and you have no idea what's going on, pick it up on the Switch.
Yeah, my advice is if, like...
Probably the most accessible.
Yeah, I would say... oh, fuck.
Like, here's the thing. This isn't necessarily a game that you, like, need to run at peak performance, but as you can see, it's fucking gorgeous, so you're gonna want it to.
Yeah, and it also, like, 60 frames for this thing. Super key.
Oh, for sure. Well, yes and no. I guess it depends on what you're doing with it.
No, this is like very similar to fighting games. Like 60 FPS is what you want for this. Which, granted, every version of it runs at that, except for the PS3 one,
which runs at like 5.
Which, yeah, like screen tearing, tons of like issues like it. Like there are more than your fair share of problems on that version.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good game.
Yeah, this
however you get it, pick it up.
I was really sad that I was late to the party on this one.
Really?
Yeah, so I was super late to the party on Bayonetta, which is, a lot of people hear that that's probably strange to some of our fans, because I hype this series now like it's no other.
I don't know, I've had a couple of series like that where I like wasn't super in love with it until I actually played it. For me, if we're talking just like in general rather than like specifically video games, like Power Rangers was kind of that for me. Because as a kid I liked it a lot for like a year. And then as I got older I kind of stopped caring. And now that I'm a 25-year-old man, it's like the perfect age range for me to be to like Power Rangers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Bronson and I actually really like Power Rangers.
I do.
We're both big fans. Big fans.
Whenever you meet Aaron, which will probably be at PAX, he is also a big fan of the Power Rangers.
The thing is, it's dumb, but it's fucking cool.
Oh, we just ripped one of his fucking arms off. Yeah.
When you've got like 6 multicolored teenage superheroes fighting a fucking cheeseburger monster, right? That's got to be a Power Rangers villain. Like,
yeah, but I do not doubt that.
I've been meaning to go through and watch through all of Power Rangers, but it's such a like long endeavor. That series is 20 years old.
But I actually, what better what I say about Bayonetta is like,
Oh yeah, we're playing Bayonetta.
I came to it really, so I played it when it came out, but I didn't get past the first couple of chapters because it was like, oh, this is very Devil May Cry. Like,
It is.
That's what but I did not realize how much better it gets over Devil May Cry at some point.
I think there are merits to both, but I agree that overall Bayonetta is better. But also, like, it's hard for me to get past the fact that Devil May Cry was originally a Resident Evil game, which I would pick over Bayonetta or Devil May Cry overall.
Which is weird because, well, not weird, but that's a lot about our taste because I would never ever pick Resident Evil over either of those.
It depends on specifically the Resident Evil for me. Like, if it was
Yeah.
Resident Evil 5 versus any of the Bayonettas or Devil May Cries, I'd be like, fuck you, RE5.
The only Resident Evil I would pick over the Bayonettas or the Devil May Cries would be
4 is really good. I like 2 the best, I think.
Look at the fucking scale of this.
Yeah, it's crazy. We just got done playing Shadow of the Colossus like last week,
which
so
similar. Oh, okay.
very similar scale, but this one's a lot more anime.
This one's the most anime. Oh shit.
Definitely not out of all of the series we've mentioned so far. Like, I would say probably Devil May Cry is the most anime.
Yeah,
But that's because Dante is the most anime fucking protagonist ever.
We should do DMC3 sometime.
I'd be down. I'd be down. I'm actually cosplaying that at Fanime, doing Virgil for my boy Jacob.
But
shout out to Jacob who doesn't watch this show.
But I ended up getting to it fairly late, so I was like, oh, it's kind of like Devil May Cry, whatever. I'll get to it later. But then they announced the sequel, and people were so salty that it was only on the Wii U, and I was just like,
I forgot about that shit.
They were so salty about it. I'm like, okay, well now I have to play it.
That was my favorite thing about the Wii U was that everybody was like, fuck the Wii U, and then they announced this game, and everybody was like, fuck, now I gotta go buy a Wii U. It was like before Smash.
Yeah.
It's like before Smash made the Wii U viable.
They both came out like a month apart. I remember.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were both in our 2014 Game of the Year awards.
Yeah.
I also remember going through the process of.
I just remember the fucking marketing for Bayonetta 2 being very, like, not Nintendo. Like, they had a Playboy spread for Bayonetta 2. You got this. I believe in you. I'm believing in you, Les Bronson. Hurry up. Bronson, my belief in you is waning.
That's okay. Oh, what? I got a witch time off? Wow, that's lucky.
I no longer believe in you.
That's good.
You are a figment of my imagination.
Ah, fuck. I was so close.
You're an actor hired to talk about this game with me.
Yes, obviously.
That's exactly what... I mean, everybody's an actor now. I mean, I've lived in LA. Every single person I talk to, what do you do for a living? I'm an actor.
Is that really how bad?
Dude, I'm not even fucking joking. Every time you see a nice car on the freeway in LA, and they're being dicks, like they're just driving terribly, you probably make the assumption that they're actors and be right.
Oh wow, they checkpoint mid boss fight. Okay, that's good.
Go. Yeah, this game, even for being as low res as it is on the Switch, still super pretty.
Yeah,
super pretty.
It's 720p here on the X and on the PC 1080. On the pretty much everything else 720.
You know what's? This is just like a testament to the Switch, I think. But like, every game that I've played on this so far has been like low res but super pretty.
Yeah, that's good art design is what that is.
Yeah. No, and I like it. Like I haven't encountered a point where I'm like, especially in Zelda, like
Zelda I had a few frame rate problems early
Well,
on.
but even beyond the frame rate drops or anything, like the
But
art
as far as
direction is just fucking gorgeous.
As far as the actual like core visuals go, no, it looks fucking
It's
gorgeous.
super gorgeous. It's like better looking than a lot of like the higher res like 1080p fucking 4K AAA games
Yeah.
that go on, and that's just because like it's creative art design. It's
Yeah.
the same with this game. Like that font, you could just download online for free, like legally.
Because
It
this
looks good.
this game came out in 2010 for the States, January 2010.
And on the 360 first, right?
Yeah, 360 and PS3. 360 version was the one you wanted to play.
That was the one I played.
Yeah, good call.
That was the one I played. I was thinking about it, and I was like, was I an early adopter for this? And I was.
But no, I remember the.
I always forget that her outfit is made of her hair.
But the PS.
It's weird to me. I love her.
She is one of my favorite characters of all time.
She's great. She's great. Very trolly. Okay.
But
Okay. Alright.
so like people were super salty about the sequel, like being on
That's so clever. What the fuck?
being on Wii U, and I'm like, okay, I gotta play this game now. And people are this upset about this, and I bought it for oh wait, not done. And I bought it for $360 in the bargain bin for like $8. Like, it was stupid cheap. And I played through it in 2 days. And I sent everyone in the TGA group chat at the time, holy shit, I'm 3 years late, but y'all need to play Bayonetta right now.
And I'm sure everybody in the group chat was like, Bronson, we've already played this.
No, most people hadn't.
That's crazy.
Joe was the only one.
That's crazy.
This
game's also got a lot of personality.
It does.
That's the thing, like, I think part of it's the art design, but a good portion of it is just, like, solid, like, plot and character. You know, like, I hate it when people critique something based on the writing alone, especially in visual media, because it's, like, 10% of the thing.
Right.
But with Bayonetta, like, the writing is really solid.
Like, the actual, like, core story is, as long as you're like you're looking at all the like in-game like media stuff that they give you in journals. It has the Final Fantasy 13 problem.
And 15 in that similar regard.
Yeah, which I don't like, which is exactly why, like, I remember reviewing the second one and like giving it a 10. But also being very much like, the writing isn't great unless you go into this game, like, look at the manuals, and that is a storytelling problem. BT dubs.
I'm gonna go on like a bit of a micro rant about this because
Okay.
it is actually something that like bothers the fuck out of me, and you can tell it always comes from people who are not. And I'm not talking specifically about what you like your review. I mean, in general, as a critic, and not you as a critic, but people in general as critics, when they try to critique something, most often, like especially lately with movies and video games, when they come out, you'll hear a lot of people go, "Well, the writing was bad." That's like the thing I hear the most about, fucking Force or The Last Jedi, for example, is a perfect example of that, because so many people hated that movie, and then when you asked them why, they would tell you, "Well, the writing was bad," and I'm over here like, this is a visual medium. Like, you're not reading the movie. Also, you use the word bad. Like, your teachers in high school, when you were taking, like, English and creative writing classes, you know, tell you to avoid saying things like good and bad and stuff like that, because it's, like, a basic, like... Again, it's just, like, such a basic bitch way to word things. It's like, if you're critiquing someone else's writing and the best you can say is it's bad, it just drives me fucking crazy. I'm like, how are you going to...
So...
And again, it's only like 10% of the thing anyway.
So in Bayonetta's case, I don't think the writing is bad, like the scenes and whatnot. I think that the story,
Like the world building,
the
maybe?
story and the world building is told poorly.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, but it's also, that might...
Also, I need to show everyone, because this is a Nintendo version.
Oh yeah,
You can
so you get that's my favorite one. Actually, wait, I think Peach might be. Yeah, I think Peach might be. But anyway,
Okay, we're done with this for now.
just for all you out there who like that.
We are literally about to go through one of my favorite set pieces in this entire
Good.
fucking game.
Excellent. No, in the case of Bayonetta, I would say, like, I wouldn't say the story is inherently shit. I would say it's more so, like, not necessarily the focus of the game, I guess.
No, it's
Like,
not.
you're not here for... First of all, like, in video games, there are very few instances, to me, where the story is the most important and most critical aspect of it. That's typically, like, JRPGs.
It's like JRPGs,
Or, like-
WRPGs,
Yeah.
point-and-click adventure.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very...
It's a narrow field in the landscape in the landscape of games. Like, there are so many different gameplay styles, and this is an action adventure game.
Yeah, this is like...
So yeah, you don't need them.
Yeah, but like, that's said, like, it's a bummer that the world and story of Bayonetta is actually so fucking interesting, but like, it's told so fucking poorly.
Sure.
And that's a bummer. Like,
And she turns into a cat,
she can
which
do
everybody knows is always points in my book.
that. Yeah.
No,
Oh.
I mean, I guess my
Look at-
overall.
Oh,
I know.
so fucking great.
You remember that freeway chase on Deadpool? Nothing compared to this.
Fucking look at this nonsense.
It's pretty good. But anyway, my overall point with that is when you go into visual media, things that are supposed to be like films or video games or TV shows or anime, you're when you're critiquing the writing, you're only looking at such a very small aspect of it because it is visual storytelling, and therefore if you're watching a movie where the writing is the standout of the whole thing, you're still gonna get some disconnect there. You know what I mean?
Right.
To me, like, again, you don't read a movie.
Right.
You don't read a video game. I mean, technically you can. There's subtitles on most of them.
Yeah.
But
We put them on because this is LP
60-minute
format.
access,
Yeah. So
If you want to catch the story, this is not the place to do it. I guess overall what I'm getting at is, like, when you're telling a story in a visual medium, you're not thinking about necessarily strictly what the characters are saying so much as you are, like, what the film is going to tell you or the game is going to tell you about. I keep referencing movies because that's more my domain.
right.
But, like,
Which I like I said, very similar to Greg Miller. I would never claim to be a film critic.
right. I mean, I don't either. I'm just, I guess I study film. I'm not a film student, but I am kind of, I guess, a student of film, if that makes sense. Like, I don't go to school for it, but it is something that I think about every time I watch a movie. And I think about it when I play games, too. But it bugs the fuck out of me. Next time you watch a movie, don't just think about, like, is the writing good? Is the dialogue the characters are saying good? Because any good actor will be able to convey dialogue no matter what the fuck it's... Look at the original Star Wars. The dialogue is garbage in those movies. Just absolute shit. But those actors knew their characters well enough that they could, like, convey it just fine. You're not worried about it. And I think people give it a pass because it's a movie from the 70s.
I think
But-
I definitely think that's part of it. Oh shit.
But also, like, the characters are just really good. And when the characters are good, it means the actor has done a successful job portraying the characters, and the director has done a successful job framing their story, essentially. And so that's what I think about. Like, the writing is important, but it's not the thing.
I also think it depends on the genre of game and or film, and like
I think
there are so many different factors because like
yes, but I think that's only to a certain extent because games and films, the writer on both of these is usually just one guy or one small team of guys, you know?
right.
And the people who make them could be completely disconnected from the writer by the time they start working on it. So they have to read the script, understand what the story is going to be, and be able to convey those emotions and those sequences accurately in a completely different format than what the script is telling them it is. And that usually falls on the director, but it could fall anywhere into the production of it. And that's what I mean by the writing is only 10% of the thing.
Right.
So, like, that being said,
God,
the fact...
Sorry,
No, I mean, like, the fact that there's so much personality in this game, and the fact that there's so much, you know, character, I guess is the best way to put it. This part looks fucking annoying. But the fact that there is so much of that, to me, says that the writer is competent and was able to convey enough of the character on page that the people who played, or that were working on the game, the people who were translating what was on the page to the game, probably knew what they were doing because of the writer. And because of the director. The director is probably more important in a game and movie than the writer. But,
oh, what? This is a new one.
That is cool. This is fucking Blade Runner 2049. Got some fucking voices. I like how much this game reminds me of Evangelion, despite being so different from Evangelion. But that's a whole other thing. No, I mean, just overall, like, if you're going to criticize something, put more thought into it than that, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Because you sound relatively ignorant when all you can say is the writing was bad. I don't mean use better words than bad to describe how you didn't like the writing.
You should use words that beside it.
Exactly, yes. But
at minimum, use poor.
Yeah, but that's not the thing I'm trying to convey here. I'm trying to convey, like, why do you think it's bad? Why do you think that the writing is bad? There's got to be a reason. And if your reason was you didn't like the way that this character was portrayed, then maybe it's not the writer. You know, maybe it's the actor that portrays the character. Maybe it's the way that the director chose to have the character conveyed. Maybe it's the... Again, it more so applies to film than it does video games in that particular instance, but... I don't know, even the actors in video games are relatively underrated. Which is kind of weird. It's like backwards from movies. Because in movies, like, the actors are not as big a part in the film production as people assume they are, but they're the face of the film.
Right.
Whereas in video games, like, 9 times out of 10, people can't even tell you the voice actors who played Bayonetta. I can't.
No, I can't either.
Yeah, not off the top of my head.
I think that a lot of that has to do with, like, games being more focused on play than storytelling a lot of the time.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Things are definitely getting better, but...
Well, they're just getting different, I think. Like, people are leaning a lot more into storytelling for their games than they are. Like, everything's trying to be cinematic now. TV's doing the same thing.
Fucking...
She just flipped off the motorcycle and it turned on.
To get it to start? Yeah, she did. Fire guns,
Joe. Good God, I should change it to motion controls, please. That's the only way that can make it fun. That has to be an option.
Oh, I'm sure it is. There's touch controls. Yeah, there's touch control.
That's pretty insane.
It's from the Switch version, or the Wii U version. Touch controls are like baby mode.
Yeah,
that's its intent.
So that you can just breeze through the game without too much trouble.
Yeah,
I don't know. Then you're not really playing the game though.
Yeah, like I said, it's meant for, like, I just want to see these absurd set pieces,
which is fair. Didn't they made an anime movie out of this? Didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. Was it good?
It was okay.
It was okay.
I got through without bitching or moaning.
There you go. There you go. You know what I've been seeing a lot lately? Fucking...
That's so hype. Sorry.
I've been seeing a lot lately where, like, an adaptation of something that people like comes out and people are like, oh, it's trash and I hate that this is a thing, and then a new adaptation will come out and people, like, talk about it as if it's going to be the same exact thing as that other thing.
I actually want to discuss the live-action Death Note then, if we're bringing that up.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm game. I'm super excited for this conversation, actually, because I love talking about this movie.
So, for one, if this was just a movie on its own with another title,
probably be fine.
I think it would be, it would
maybe
be
even good.
Yeah, it would. I would classify it as like campy, dumb fun.
Well, yeah.
That is. But because it has the Death Note name on it, like, man, did people shit on it.
Well, here's my thing about it. I kept seeing comparisons to Dragon Ball Evolution being made. And I'm like, you guys do realize that your fucking fandom goggles are showing so bad right now. Like, there is no fucking way that this movie is anywhere near as bad as Dragon Ball Evolution.
Right, like, I was entertained and had fun in this one.
There were some parts of it that were, like, actually really good. Like, I liked the guy who played L.
Yeah.
Especially in the first half. In the second half, his character does get a little weird, but the actor still does a great job playing the character. He's got a fucking cadence down. Yeah. That dude talks like L talks in the anime. That's fucking dedication.
Yeah, and I think part of it, like, just comes off as, like, hey, we had a weird script because of reasons X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. But I think overall, it boils down to, like, the director claims he was a fan of the source material, but I feel like he went into it, the whole team went into it really thinking this has got to be the American Death Note. And to a certain degree, like, yeah, Death Note is kind of an inherently Japanese story in terms of its sensibilities.
I mean, it's set in Japan, it has
beyond
Japanese characters.
Well, beyond that, I mean, like, its overall sensibilities, like, the way that people act.
Oh, shit.
It's very different from the way that people would act in America. The thing, though, about it is that, like, I don't feel like it's super respectful to the manga, and I don't feel like it's super... I don't feel like it's super... just in general, like, it's not a bad movie, and I wouldn't classify it as a terrible piece of shit film.
No.
I think I would classify it as, like, middle-of-the-road, like, mindless entertainment, and that's probably my biggest problem with it, because Death Note is a really smart series. Even if it does have its campy, dumb bullshit moments, it's like...
I think if they didn't call this an adaptation and just said it's like
a side story or
yeah,
whatever.
it's like set in the Death Note universe, like,
I think that'd
hey,
be cool.
this is something that, like...
I actually had a really cool idea.
Also, Willem Dafoe's Ryu was up.
Fucking perfect.
Oh, god damn it,
Perfect casting.
Ray's not here to do our dumb Willem Dafoe joke.
Oh.
Bummer. Well, anyway.
He'll be back soon.
Yeah, we'll bring
Maybe
up Willem
for
Dafoe
Bayonetta
again.
Is that too soon?
No, he'll be back for Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still not too far out. That's, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah. Seven Deadly Sins and Night in the Woods is his return.
There we go.
Then we get, and of course, Doom.
Do we get more Doom? Yeah.
Yeah, Doom finally comes back.
Yeah, boy. I had a really good idea for a Death Note, or how I thought the Death Note movie should have been made, and it's set in the universe of the anime. But I thought it would be really interesting to do it sort of mockumentary style, because in the anime you never learn what happens after the series, like what the aftermath of the whole Kira case is, where the world goes. And the anime set in, like, the time the manga came out, which was like 2003. So it's like 2003 to like 2017 or some shit, is the span of which the anime takes place. So I thought it would be interesting to do like a 10 years after that, what happened, like what did the government tell everybody?
God.
Yeah, what did they tell everybody? How did they tell everybody that Kira killed people? You know, and stuff like that. And like, I thought it'd be interesting to make it follow a documentary filmmaker who's like found footage style sort of, who's like going through everything and like trying to uncover the truths behind the Kira case.
This level is so fucking crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's also, the music's super good.
It is, yes. It's a really good soundtrack, actually. But yeah, I thought that would be a super interesting take on the Death Note thing. Like, you could have it star an American guy investigating Japan, because America did play a part in the manga. So it's like, I don't know, there are just a million different things that you could have done with it that would have made it kind of interesting, and that would have been the angle I would have gone off of, because you could see like all the conspiracy theories, and then you could like have him really uncover what happens and maybe find a Death Note, like stuff like that. So we'll never get to see that version unless someone out there wants to make it, in which case I would love you forever. But I thought that would be cool.
What?
Oh, well,
glitched.
Oh well, though.
Flipped out. Bummer.
But yeah, no, I was actually thinking about that specifically because the trailer for the live-action Bleach movie just came out. And first of all, like, I'll say this right now, like, if you're excited for the live-action Bleach movie, that means you like Bleach, which means we can't be friends.
I want you to say these things to Sam.
I will, because Bleach is a garbage
I
show.
want you to, next Nerd Party, I need you to go up to Sam and say all of this.
I will, because Bleach is a garbage show with,
Anime is for children.
Not even just that, like, specifically Bleach is, like, the first, like, 5 chapters of it are great, and it has a great premise, and then it all falls apart the minute they start getting really shonen with it. And they're making a fucking movie out of this, like a live-action one in Japan. And I saw some of the cringiest fucking comments about this shit on Facebook when first of all, I'm reading Facebook comments, which tells you what kind of person I am. So I'm not that much less of a loser than all the people out there that like Bleach. But I was reading the fucking comments on this trailer, and everybody was like, "Oh no, America or Netflix is just gonna ruin it, just like they ruined Fullmetal Alchemist and Death Note." And I'm like, Netflix didn't fucking. I was like, Netflix didn't fucking make Fullmetal Alchemist, and they didn't make Death Note either. They're not or they made Death Note, but they're not making this one either. So like, shut up. And then they're like, "All live-action animes are bad," and I'm like, "You're dumb. You haven't seen good ones, and that's why you think they're all bad." Like, not all of them are Attack on Titan or Black Butler. Like, those were bad. Some of them are fucking Rurouni Kenshin, and then they're perfect. That adaptation is perfect. The Japanese Death Note movies from 2006, fucking incredible. The only thing I don't like about them is the visual effects, and I immediately stop caring about those once the performances start, pretty much. Because the people who play Light and L are so fucking good. It's, like, crazy.
That was nuts.
That was nuts.
That's just an average level of Bayonetta, everyone.
I mean, I don't know. You just hear so much about bad things and how people think things are bad, and then I've seen people who like don't even watch the thing and say that it's bad.
That's actually part of the reason I really like Movie Bob's show Really That Good.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, here's why these awesome movies are awesome.
Because he talks about good movies.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is, like, half the time the movies that people bitch about that they say are so bad, like, aren't even that bad. They're just, like, movies that they heard other people call bad, and then they say are bad.
Or they're trying to be controversial,
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I do that sometimes. Like, I have some pretty contrarian opinions about movies.
But it's not to get clicks.
It's not to get clicks, no. It's always, like, it always comes from somewhere real. Spider-Man Homecoming was a movie that I enjoyed, but not as much as I really wanted to. For, like, Spider-Man's return to the Marvel Universe, I was underwhelmed. I was severely underwhelmed. I'll put it that way, because Spider-Man's one of my favorite characters ever, and he was going back to the Marvel Universe, which means he could coexist with all these other established great characters.
That are in largely pretty damn good movies.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I know I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but I enjoy the movies.
Yeah.
They're not fucking groundbreaking films for the most part, but, you know, they're good. I don't think any of them are inherently terrible.
I mean, they get me out to...
Thor 2 is bad, but...
Yeah, Thor 2 is not good. That first whole movie is not great either. I'm actually watching through all the Marvel movies before
Infinity War.
That's part of the reason I went to go see Black Panthers, because I knew it was going to be out on Blu-ray before Infinity War's out.
Wait, no it's not. Would it? February, I think Infinity War's May. It could be.
It could be, but I didn't want to take the chance.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, okay.
I want to go see it. I hear that it's great, and then I hear some people say it's bad, and I just want to watch it. I just want to check it out, yeah, because it looks cool. But I also, like, I'm super over everybody talking about it already. Not because of, I'm over people making up controversies about it. Like, it's literally all of the controversy surrounding it has been, like, completely manufactured, and this wouldn't happen if it was another Captain America movie, do you know what I'm saying? Like, right. What the fuck? People are so fucked up. This, you know what's not fucked up, though? Bayonetta.
Yeah, great game.
Great game.
I'm doing real bad.
Anyway, that that Spider-Man Homecoming, I wanted to be blown away by it, and I wanted it to be the best Marvel movie, and I ended up like being okay with it for the most part. I thought it was fun, but I didn't want just a fun Spider-Man movie.
So yeah, like I went into that one thinking it was pretty good, but like I had really low expectations because those Amazing movies.
I really like those.
I did not.
This is where we differ, but that's also not. I didn't even factor those into like my viewing of it. I just really liked Tom Holland in Civil War. Didn't love him, but I thought we got a decent taste of what Spider-Man Homecoming could be. And instead of making it that, like that scene where he's sitting in the bedroom talking to Tony Stark, that scene was great. Like, his performance specifically there was fantastic. Could have done without the entire airport battle in Civil War.
I think
was bullshit.
Actually,
largely bullshit.
I enjoyed the airport battle.
It wasn't a civil war. It was a civil airport fight.
That's fine.
No, it's not, because the movie's called Civil War.
That's
Bronson. It's not
okay,
a war.
Okay, but like the entire movie is like a war of ideologies. Like,
but that's not. It doesn't feel like a war to me. You don't lose any. Nobody loses anything because you know that Infinity War is going to give it back to all of them. So there's no stakes.
I don't think there's stakes in any fucking Marvel movie.
Sure there are.
Because it's at the end of the day.
Winter Soldier, I feel like had quite a bit of stakes.
At the end of the day, the good guys win though. Like,
yeah, but I mean, you still feel like fucking. You feel like Cap lost something, you know. You feel like he lost Bucky. He lost his faith in the government. He lost his faith in S.H.I.E.L.D., which was like the thing that brought him back. I don't know. I felt like with Winter Soldier there were stakes.
I think that's like one of the few though.
Yeah,
like,
true. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy has stakes always, but it's like its own thing at this point.
Yeah, like those are my favorite Marvel movies, and like I'm of that mindset as well.
I agree to that. I like Doctor Strange a lot, but
yeah, that one's pretty sweet.
I like Doctor Strange a lot, but it's also just Batman Begins in the Marvel Universe, and that's fine. But it still feels like nothing's real in that, you know? Like, nothing feels like... The first Iron Man had stakes.
That's another one of my favorites.
The first Iron Man had stakes, but it also, when you go back and watch the first Iron Man, it feels so inherently different.
It does, because it was the first
the rest of the Marvel
It was the very first one.
Well, but it also set like a completely different tone from what we ended up getting, and I think largely that's because the first Avengers took everything that they had built on and hired Joss Whedon, and it completely changed the course of what the MCU was going to be from that point on. You know, like you have aliens invading and all this other shit, and it's like, well, Tony Stark made his suit from like technology, and you can like sort of buy that, but the minute you introduce aliens, it's like all bets are off.
So
then you put magic in there, you're fucked.
So yeah, like I said, I've been watching through the Marvel movies again, following along with kind of funniest thing that they've been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Love that first Iron Man.
Great.
Not really big on that first Hulk, kind of boring.
It's boring, but it's not as bad as the other Hulk.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
We'll agree with that. Sometimes I feel like Bayonetta is just set piece the video game.
It is, yeah, because it's so gorgeous. Like, the art direction is fucking incredible here. Iron Man 2 was, interesting.
Then Iron Man 2 was alright. Like, I liked it. I
thought it was fine. I like Sam Rockwell in it.
I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one, but I did like it.
My favorite part is fucking Justin Hammer. Because he's so fucking funny. You, like, want him to lose.
Then there's the first Captain America, which was awesome. Loved it.
I thought it was okay. I think it had a real sense of adventure.
Yeah,
that's something that Marvel movies don't get often.
It's really hard for me to like Captain America. Like, all the complaints people have about Superman, I actually have just towards Captain America.
I feel like I had it before the MCU started building him up. But they've done a pretty fantastic job. Up until Civil War, I'll say. They've done a pretty fantastic job keeping me interested in the character. And then Civil War happened, and his motivations got fucked. Like, they completely destroyed his motivation. And then Homecoming happened, and it was like, what the fuck happened to all that heavy-ass, like, Civil War shit? Why is Tony Stark just okay with, like, this child soldier? Anyway.
I think it's because, well, I don't think Tony Stark's 100% okay with it because he's playing a kid. Like,
yeah, no,
hey,
he's obviously not, but it's still.
Hey,
like,
be a fucking kid.
Yeah, but it's. I don't know. Anyway,
The only reason he was okay at the end there is because
the kid proved himself.
the kid like showed what he could do. Oh my fucking god, this is disorienting.
That was the argument I had about, or I heard about, like how people liked Spider-Man: Homecoming was that it was like a real coming of age story, and I was like, none of his shit felt real to me though. It all felt like, I don't know. Peter Parker's never come across to me in the comics or otherwise as like a kid who just wants to be a hero because it's fun and it seems like a good thing to do, and he can be an Avenger.
No, it's Peter Parker is
he's
fucking.
the one with the struggle. Like that was what was always interesting. To
yeah,
me.
like he's ruled by his fucking insecurities.
Yeah, and that was the
Like,
problem
that's-
with me about Homecoming was like you only got so little of it. His biggest bully was like smaller than him. Like Flash Thompson was a fucking tiny little twerp that nobody liked.
That was such bad casting.
It was terrible, and it
was-
didn't build up Peter's status as a nerd. You completely removed his like whole outcast thing when you put him in a school of science geeks. I don't know. They just like
they still made him a nerd, which I liked.
yeah, but he was in a school of nerds, so it didn't matter. Like
Yeah.
the nerd thing was never the point of the character, in my opinion. It was like the fact that he was outcast. It was the fact that he was like a loner, you know, and his only friend was Harry. I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I'll put it that way. But that's how I feel about the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, you get some movies that are really fucking good, and then some movies that are just okay, and then everything that's in between.
I think that's part of the reason that they can have an MCU.
Yeah.
Is because they realize that not all these are gonna be winners.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man: Homecoming made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So on a very small budget too. Like you can tell it's a low budget movie as far as like the MCU is concerned. I think they pitched it to Sony being like, we can make this movie for less money than we've ever spent on a Spider-Man movie.
And then Sony's like, hey, let's fuck up Venom real good.
Oh god, I don't even know what that movie's gonna be. It's bad, probably.
Probably.
I'm still gonna watch it.
I'm gonna. Yeah. It comes out my birth month, so I'm like.
That is the worst. That visual. What? Okay. Anyway, yeah, Venom's probably gonna be bad, but I'm gonna go watch it.
Well, I mean, when you have a Venom trailer without Venom in it.
Right? Well, it looks like they're changing Venom's origin story too, completely, because he's not wearing the symbiote at all, and you have this fucking guy with the symbiote in the tube, and you're like, is that where he gets it from? Is he gonna be Venom from the beginning? Because that's the only way I can see them doing a Venom movie. But then, like, everybody knows who Venom is, but not where he came from. It's like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Tom Hardy's probably gonna be dope in it.
I mean, yeah, I would hope.
Tom Hardy's always dope. I hope he's not phoning it in.
But yeah, first Avengers is rad. Iron Man 3 is not particularly good, but has its moments.
The first Avengers is, like, rad, specifically if you were there watching it in theaters.
I kind of agree, but like even now, I like
It's a decent movie.
like I really like it. Like especially
fun.
like when you add in the context of like
All the other ones.
of like, hey, we did it.
That's the
Fucking did it.
So that's the biggest thing. I watched that movie at the midnight show when that was a thing, like when you went on at midnight. And I saw it fucking after having seen all the other previous MCU movies at midnight on the big screen.
On that scene where they just like cut away to the fucking like, or that the camera pans.
Yeah,
around
the
them,
big
like,
group shot. Yeah,
like-
it's fucking epic. Which is not even a word people use anymore, but it is actually like legendary at this point for superhero movies.
Like,
And it's fucking dope, but the movie overall as a film is like good.
yeah, that's
I wouldn't describe it as
they did exactly what they needed to fucking do with that movie.
exactly, yeah,
Right.
precisely. They did something that nobody had done yet in movies.
Yeah, they
Which was pretty
succeeded in creating their big crossover thing.
With a great cast. With a fantastic cast.
With a great cast, and then it sets up the rest of the universe.
This is mildly controversial, but I like Mark Ruffalo better than Edward Norton as Bruce Banner. Part of that's because Edward Norton played him in the OG Hulk movie, like the Incredible Hulk or whatever. Mark Ruffalo is the current guy. Yeah,
I kind of agree with that.
He just looks more like a Bruce Banner type to me.
Yeah. Plus,
it's like weird that they, I guess because it was a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, but it wasn't like, you know, Paramount didn't distribute it and all that other shit. Like, I guess that it's fine that they recast him with a guy that looks nothing like him. But he delivers a completely different performance, and I think he plays up the insecurities of Bruce Banner perfectly. You know, that's something Edward Norton couldn't do. Or didn't do. I don't know which. What the fuck? This ring just completely eludes
I'm just so what the fuck.
Bronson's great at video games, guys.
I'm the best.
And you fell.
Oh god, it's just so disorienting.
60-minute access of Bronson trying to run up some fucking rings. Dormammu, I'd like to make a contract. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Fucking brilliant casting. Perfect casting.
I feel like at this point, like it's... But going back to the list there, I was going, oh shit, no. Oh, there we go. Back to the...
This is really entertaining to me.
It's alright. Enjoy.
We'll get there eventually, guys. Are you trying to jump? You're trying to get the outer ring? Is this the outermost ring?
It is.
There you go. He did it, guys! Everybody cheer! Woo! I would add a cheer there, but I'm gonna be way too lazy to like edit that in later.
That's alright. Yeah! Fucking get him in the guillotine.
Get him in the guillotine.
Chop his head off. There we
go. Get him right where it counts. Back to your list though.
I love that effect, the witch time, just like when you dodge and it goes into slow-mo. Especially like when you do it literally at the last possible second, you turn into bats.
Yeah.
But then there was Thor 2, piece of shit.
Piece of shit movie.
Captain Winter Soldier is obviously amazing.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy is great. Let's see. Which one am I missing? At this point?
Let's see.
I haven't seen Thor.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man is probably my favorite after Guardians.
Weird. Oh, we've talked about that before.
I love me some Ant-Man.
Some Ant-Boy. Then Civil War. I think after Ant-Man it's...
Yes, it's definitely Civil War. And Civil War is also really good. Lots of good philosophy in that one.
I think it's okay.
Really like that one.
And then it's Spider-Man and then Black Panther, I believe.
Oh, Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, Thor Ragnarok. Oh, I haven't seen Thor Ragnarok.
I haven't seen it either. It's coming out soon. I'm gonna rent it the weekend it comes out.
I'll watch it with you. I haven't seen it yet, so
that's sounds good.
I'd like to watch it. I heard nothing but great things about it.
We will buy some movie theater popcorn and then take it to my house.
Dank.
Because I've done that many a time before. Because I love movie theater popcorn, but hate going to actual movie theaters.
Oh, see, I love going to the movies.
See.
I just like the experience of it. Like, I like watching a movie in the movie theater. It's a different experience.
I will say this. I used to just fucking loathe it. These IMAX chairs
make it a lot better for you.
Have made it an experience to where I've gone from fucking despising it to just being like, yeah, okay, I'll go to a movie.
I still gotta show you Ghost in the Shell, huh?
Yes.
I was thinking about my...
Did Ray tell you he finally watched Ghostbusters? Annie made him watch Ghostbusters.
Good on you, Annie.
Yeah.
I'm liking you more and more.
Yeah, shout out to Girl We Don't Know.
I know Annie.
I don't know her.
Girl Bronson's never met. I know Annie. I met Annie the same time Ray did.
One thing I will say is when I have still gotten... it has still not gotten old being like, hey, how's Annie doing? Annie okay? And then just fucking Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I think I told her that joke like the first time we met, and then she was like, "Oh, ha 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 ha." And I was like, "Oh."
Oh, you've heard this before, haven't you?
That's like when Dimitri and I first met, and I called him Dummitry. And he was like, "Oh, thank you for taking me back to kindergarten." Like, if you have a friend with a dumb name, you're gonna...
Yeah. Oh, no. Our friend Felicia, like, me and
Hi,
Ray know this
Felicia.
girl named... Yeah, she fucking hates it. Hates it so much.
Oh, but Friday's a good movie.
Friday is a great movie. I've seen it. So, I actually used to work in a group home, as you know.
Yeah.
And one of the clients loved Friday. So, I have seen Friday so many damn times.
It's a great movie to watch a million times.
Oh, yeah.
That's like me with Mean Girls, but I do it to myself.
Yeah, it wasn't at work for you.
It wasn't a work thing for me. It was just like, man, I feel like watching some Mean Girls.
Oh, shit.
Every time I find a comedy that I really like, that's generally the movie that I default to when I can't think of anything else. There hasn't been one in a while, actually. Like a good comedy movie. Like a really good comedy.
Yeah, I always end up going back to like a Kevin Smith flick or like old school.
Oh, I love watching Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's like my default for when I want just like a dumb, fun comedy. Like Dumb and Dumber, I think, specifically. Or Me, Myself, and Irene.
For me, it's Will Ferrell a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, Will Ferrell too. I was watching Zoolander the other day. What a fucking... The first one. What a great movie. The second one is like... Not as bad as people say it is, but it's not the first one by a wide margin.
But no, one of my favorite comedies is that's Will Ferrell. I like what I was saying was Old School.
Old School is good. I think my favorite Will Ferrell movies are Step Brothers and Talladega Nights.
So I actually saw Step Brothers in one of the best possible contexts you could probably see that movie.
What?
It was on a trip. Hold on. Sorry, these guys actually are playing a focused fight. So I was, it was when it was in theaters, and I was traveling because I was playing football, and they rented out the theater for our showing.
That's great.
So like it was just me and a bunch of bros that I played football with, watching that movie.
That's awesome.
It was like the best. Do you know how much funnier that movie gets when it's like just a bunch of 18-year-olds making jokes about it?
Oh, I 100% bet that it's the way to watch that movie.
Yeah, like...
Unless you have a stepbrother.
Yeah.
That's probably the only better context you could watch that movie.
Yeah, like...
I just think I like Will Ferrell movies because they're quotable.
Yeah.
They're very quotable.
Oh, to this day I'll yell, "Blue, you're my boy!"
Talladega Nights is probably my favorite.
Ah! Why do bad things come out of these boxes?
Talladega Nights is probably my favorite Will Ferrell movie to this day, but it's largely because of the scene where he's getting all these commercials and celebrity endorsements and shit, and he's like,
oh, the Japanese one.
No, the best one to me is the Big Red one, where he's like, I'm Ricky Bobby, and if you don't shoot Big Red, then fuck you.
That
great commercial.
That was also one of the quotes when I played. Dude, I watched a lot of Talladega Nights with the Reno High football team in high school
because it's such a good movie.
Like that. Those.
My mom fucking hates it.
My friend Panda does. Like I'm like, let's watch Old School, and she's like, God no.
Oh man.
Like
no.
I'm like, aw.
It's not I guess it's not a girl thing.
I guess.
Oh, Anchorman's another one I really like.
Anchorman's really good too.
I like the second one a lot too, actually.
The second Anchorman.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Comedy sequels are hard to sell.
Comedy.
The only comedy sequel I like more than the original is Ace Ventura 2. And that's because it fucking just pulls out all the stops. It's like, the second Hangover is bad because it's just the first Hangover but raunchier. The second Ace Ventura is like, we've established this character, now let's see how far we can take it. And I fucking love that. When Jim Carrey's being birthed by a rhino in front of a family of 4, there's like few times you can convince me that a movie gets better. Also, like, just the idea that he loves all animals but bats. Like, he hates bats, and he has like this illogical, irrational fear of bats. Pretty great. That whole movie's good. That whole movie's just good. If you were me, then I'd be you, and I'd use your body to take to get to the top. You can't stop me no matter who you are. You are struggling with this one, aren't you?
A little bit.
A little bit. That's the only time Bronson is quiet, is when he's struggling with something. He's having some real issues. But I don't blame him, like, fuck these guys.
If it weren't for the giant fucking murder ball.
Which is murdering them too, I believe. I think the goal is to trap them under the murder ball. Is it not? It's hard, but I believe that is the... Oh.
I like how the pancake effect with it, though.
Do they stagger when you trap them under the murder ball?
Yeah, it looks like it.
That's when you get them. Oh. I believe in you.
I don't.
Yeah, me neither. I just wanted to make you feel better. You guys, start a fucking hashtag, I believe in Bronson Fury. Oh, you're supposed to beat him until the murder ball shows up and then dodge roll.
Bad times.
You're almost good though. You almost got him, dude. A few more hits. A few more hits, that's all you need. That is a cheap shot way of doing that. There you go. So I don't know if Bayonetta's harder or if Bronson sucks, but...
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, if I'm being honest with you.
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. You fucking got him though.
Like
probably not super well, but you did.
I could do better, but as well as these games do get hard.
Yeah. Any good game should, I think. If the game isn't challenging, then what's the point?
Yeah, that's visual spectacle, story.
There are points, but I mean, like, largely overall, like, a game is a game. You're playing the game.
Yeah, but I've got enjoyment from plenty of not challenging games whatsoever.
Yeah, I feel it. Super Mario 3D World?
Yeah. Though, let me tell you,
which one was on the Wii U? That was 3D World.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
That's the one that Ray and I nearly died 100%ing. Or
Pretty
attempted
good,
to. The second half of that game gets fucking impossible.
Yeah. It's good, though.
It is really
it's a good game. It's super easy. They literally give you, like a pity mechanic. There's literally a pity mechanic in that game. Like, if you die too many times, you get the bell, and then you're invincible.
Ray and I couldn't take that because we were going for the 100%.
Yeah.
So, it's, yep. No.
But if you're just playing the game,
yeah,
it's super easy. What's another easy game? Like Kirby's Epic Yarn?
Oh, yeah, that game.
Easy as fuck game, but, like, pretty fun. Wow. Every single one of those hit you.
Oh, God, this is bad touch.
Yo. The fucking Straw Hat Pirates have,
They traded up.
Yeah. I wish they were in this game.
Oh,
that would make this game better. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for liking One Piece and hating Bleach. But, that's how I feel. One Piece is a good show and Bleach is garbage. Not even up to date on One Piece. Or Bleach for that matter. I think it just ended.
It ended fairly recently, I remember.
Yeah. All your favorite animes are coming to an end. Yeah. What are you gonna do now? You get a girlfriend? Move out of your parents' house? Literally just describing myself.
You did just get a girlfriend. So.
I did, yeah. True.
So there you go.
One step ahead of everybody.
I think that means only half of TGA is single now.
Is Ray still in that category, or is he in that?
I am saying no.
The void in between.
Yeah, I'm saying he's in the void, but I don't count the void.
That's where I was at for the past few months.
So
either way, man, like getting a relationship isn't that important.
No.
Work on yourself.
Be happy with you.
Be happy with you. This has been advice from a couple of idiots. Advice from those who don't have their shit together. Congratulations. Start building up that 401k now. Start now while you can. Open a savings account, put about half your paycheck into it every month. Every payday.
I wish I could save half of what I earn.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I got fucking gypped on my payday, so I'm a little pissed about that.
Yeah, well, your next one will be rad, though.
Oh, it's gonna be too good. I'm gonna be swimming in the dollar signs and not knowing what to do with it, and then it's all gonna go away so fast because I have to buy equipment. I might get new lenses for my camera. I was recommended some good prime lenses that aren't too expensive, so pretty psyched about that.
This will be a good chance for me to show off crafting if I have the stuff to make anything.
So you can craft items in this game. I mean, we've already played this game a bunch.
Yeah.
This is the third one.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone might not have seen it.
Well, go watch our others. No, I'm just kidding. I think that's why we're not super stressed about showing off the mechanics in this one, because we have played this.
Shit.
I mean, this is the first Bayonetta episode I've been on, but it's also like probably the 50th time I've opened this game. So I'm not freaking out about
Why
it.
is it not letting me make it? It's weird.
Maybe because you're a fucking piece of shit. Think about that.
I mean, that's a valid thing.
2D anime girls are not real. It's another bit of advice.
Anime is for jerks.
Anime is for jerks and children. We've said this before and we'll say it again. Your waifu is not in a relationship with you. In fact, if your waifu was real, she'd probably be disgusted with you. I will make that statement definitively. Bronson's cracking the fuck up. You can't hear him because he doesn't laugh. I'm gonna get fired. I don't know, man. I feel like for a decent amount of the people that share pictures of their waifus,
they're not in a great place in life.
Well, beyond that, like that's probably a fairly accurate statement. Like, I'll put it this way: if other girls in your life don't like you, then what makes you think a fictional anime girl would?
He has a very good point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you have gotten to the point where other girls in your life are disgusted by you because of your personality, then what is a 2D anime waifu gonna do for you?
Oh shit.
Not bad. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Oh fuck.
This part looks funny. You know what? Doctor Strange makes me think that they could make a good live-action Bayonetta.
Yeah,
Very aesthetically similar.
It would be weird as fuck, but it would be cool.
I'd watch it. I don't know. Even if it was bad, I'd probably watch it.
I'd watch it just to see what woman they got to do this.
We live in such a fucking glorious time for fucking bullshit movies. We've already talked about Detective Pikachu on the show, but can I talk about how they're doing a fucking live-action CGI hybrid Sonic the Hedgehog movie that's gonna come out at the end of next year? That's gonna be so bad.
Why? Why?
Because I'm gonna go watch it. You already know I'm gonna go fucking watch this
I'm not
movie.
gonna pay fucking $13 to see that in theaters.
I'll pay $13 to see it in theaters. I fucking can't wait. It's gonna be so awful. It's gonna be so god awful.
To be fair, I would pay to see The Room in theaters.
I would, yeah. I'd pay that. They're re-releasing the first Yu-Gi-Oh movie in theaters, and I definitely want to go see that.
I would just love to catch Dragon Ball in theaters for once.
They'll probably
Fuck you, Century Theaters.
Not this year, but next year maybe. Like, the movie's supposed to come out later this year, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to come out in December in Japan.
Yeah, it probably won't come
Well,
to theaters
probably
until
it'll be
like next year, like next summer maybe.
Yeah,
Depending on how quick on the draw Funimation is.
And they seem to be moving along pretty quick.
They've gotten really good about theatrical releases. I'm actually surprised Full Metal Alchemist ended up going straight to Netflix instead of went theatrical. Just because it's one of their biggest properties at Funimation.
Yeah.
That's another movie that like people are talking about is fucking terrible, and Bronson hasn't seen it, but it's not terrible. Neither is Ghost in the Shell. That's why I brought up Ghost in the Shell earlier. I wanted to touch on this. Like, it's not god-awful. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the movie, but it's visually speaking probably the best-looking live-action adaptation you're ever going to get of anime. And on top of that, it's very respectful to the source material. There's a lot of... I don't know. That's my biggest concern when you're adapting an animated property into live action is like, are you going to pretend that the cartoon is for kids and completely disregard it, or are you going to actually, like, play it off like it's a movie? You know? And Ghost in the Shell definitely does the latter rather than the former.
Oh, shit.
Fucking, you know what movie I think is fucking great in live action that people, like, shit on all the time?
What?
Live action Scooby-Doo movie.
I actually really like that movie as well.
So good.
It's
the casting
well
in that.
done.
Everybody talks about how Freddie Prinze Jr. is a douchebag, and I'm like, so's Fred. You got it. You fucking nailed it. Sarah Michelle Gellar as Daphne, like...
I'd say no matter how much you ask, I'm not putting the chains on your arm. So what do you want?
Damn. Oh, I'm walking this fucking chainsaw on my fucking arm.
This movie has this game has so many goddamn great references like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking solid game. I thought I had a burp, and I guess I don't.
I know after I drop you off, I'm gonna go get food.
I would go with you, but as I stated previously, Tesla boned me. Overall, though, pretty good job so far.
Not bad?
Not bad, not bad at all. I like it a lot more than a lot of jobs I've had.
Mm-hmm.
So...
It's weird when you get a grown person job.
I mean, this isn't the first grown person job I've had. This is just the first job I've had in like a month. But, I don't know. I enjoy it. I like it. What can I say? What can I say? If you live in the Northern Nevada area and you can get here, I would say apply at Tesla. It's worth it. It's hella worth. That's our 66 minutes of Bayonetta.
Oh, hold on. Let me get to a save at least.
Just trying to get to a save at least. So I guess I'll play us out with a tune.
Oh, dude, don't get us copyright striked. That's the last thing we need.
I will, let's sing a song.
Sing us the song, you're the piano man.
Sing us a song tonight. I don't know all the words to that one.
Neither do I. I can... Alright, I think we might be...
Hey. Ow! It's a cat! I wish I could turn into a cat at will. I'd probably never be a person.
I mean... I feel like you say that now.
Oh, I'd probably never be a person, dude.
What the fuck?
Cats don't have to worry about shit. I would eventually forget I was ever human in the first place because I had lived my life as a cat for so long. That would be an interesting story. Make an anime about that. Person with the ability to turn into a cat, lives most of his life as a cat, is forced to live as a human for the first time in years.
That seems like the premise for an anime.
I would watch the fuck out of that. They made a Kevin Spacey movie where he plays a cat. And it's supposed to be really bad, but I'm like, what did you expect? Yep.
Sorry.
Sorry for what?
Not talking as much.
Oh no, Bronson's getting booked right now. He can't talk.
Basically,
He can't talk because he's getting his ass beat.
you're not wrong.
I mean, no, I know I'm not. Everybody watching this is like, yeah, sounds about right. Why doesn't this thing protect its core as a dragon? Why is the dragon the one thing that it can't protect its core as? It's kind of a leap. It can't protect its core as anything other than the sphere. But it has just as much material and mass no matter what it turns into. That's pretty bizarre.
I don't know why this doesn't stay as a spear the entire time. A spear.
I spirit. I'm sorry, that was bad. I'm not sorry. don't apologize for everything. Blah. Are you finally winning? Is this a turnaround?
Oh, Jesus.
So Bronson's getting fucked right now, and I think it's specifically when it turns into the Death Star that it fucks him. Blah. At this point, I'm just like done.
Oh, God.
Oh,
that's good.
and he's done.
Yeah, we're done. I
The
think.
witch hunts are over. That's your 70-minute access
Oh,
of the first Bayonetta again.
again, for the third time.
Certainly not the last. Certainly not the last.
Next week they come out. It's coming to PS4.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, now I gotta play the PS4 version.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We'll be back.
Then they're like, we've just released a new console, it's just Bayonetta. So that you can play Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2.
I would pay for that.
You know, I believe it.
I like the franchise enough.
I probably would not. I guess it depends on the price point.
Yeah, that would be a factor. Oh, God damn it. I have to start the whole thing over.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Alright, well, whatever. Anyway, bye, everyone. We'll be back next week with Bayonetta 2.
Probably also for the third time.
No, just the second.
Oh.
They've only released that once
Ah.
until now. So,
Now you get a new one for the second time.
because it's published by Nintendo.
Yes. I will see you later.
Thank you, Bane.
Yes.